Have you ever woken up and felt like, why is life so hard for me? You look around and it looks so easy for everybody else. They look happy, they look stress-free, they look fulfilled, everything's going their way. Meanwhile, you just feel blah, like you're just going through the motions, and it's just not easy for you. Today's video is gonna show you some of the cheat codes that I've found to take life from hard mode to easy mode. Maybe finding that easy button you've been searching for. So the number one cheat code is adding value to other people's lives. This is the habit of daily impact. And what I found is if you want your life to go from hard to easy, it starts with getting out of your own way. And you don't get out of your own way until you actually start making it about someone else. When we take the time to actually do little things like smile at someone, greet them in a different way, take our heads out of our phones, look up at them, listen to them. Think about how many times you're in an elevator and conversations now are just people looking at their phone. The habit of daily impact is holding the door for someone, just something little. And when you build the habit of doing little things for other people, you remove yourself and the fact that life is hard from your brain, because you're focused too much on helping someone else. And when you're helping someone else, you feel good. And it's a stackable habit. It's something that the more you do, the more you feel good. And the more you feel good, the more you feel like life is easy. This is a really important thing to just implement. It's super simple. When you're at the grocery store, tell someone that you love their nails or you like their t-shirt or whatever it is. It's just a compliment here and there. And these little things will make your life better and easier right from the get-go. The second tip is my morning routine. Until I had a morning routine, life was hard. See, when you're running and trying to catch up to life, you can't catch it. It's always behind you. But when you take control of your day and you start it out with some level of discipline, everything gets easier from there. Perfect example. Now that I get up every day and I read scripture and I work out and I go for a long walk, I get morning sunlight, I do a sauna, I have a plunge, I have all these things. I feel so accomplished by the time I actually start a work day that I have so much more to give. I feel like I've gotten what I needed out of the day, and now I can give all of myself to whatever it is the project is right there. It's really a secret of being present. It allows me to be more focused, because even at the end of the night when I'm tired, in the old days, I'd be like, oh, I'll just stay up and watch a movie. I need to have some me time. I need to have more me time, right? And yet me time just means you're not sleeping more. And that's the opposite routine that you should be focused on. So instead, by actually front-end loading and disciplining my day with the morning routine makes life easy. It makes life repeatable. You build habits around the very things that will make your life better. Tip number 3 is having a growth mindset. This is being a lifelong learner. This means that I'm curious enough to always want to be better. I want to make everything in my life better. I want to make everything in the people's lives around me better. And that comes from wanting to grow, wanting to read. I consume productivity content on a regular basis. So instead of just sitting on Reels or TikTok or whatever it is that you find yourself losing yourself into, I really focus on following people that are going to make my life better. People that are going to add value to my life, my family's life. Some of the people that I follow that I believe are making my life better. One spiritually is Father Mike Schmitz and the Hallow app and anything that they're putting out. I love to learn from them. Another is John Maxwell. He's a lifelong learner, a growth mindset individual. He's written 100 books on leadership, and I can always learn from John Maxwell, and I love learning from him. Now, full disclosure, I do get lost in some of those TikToks and some of those Reels, just like you do. But at the same time, if I only get lost occasionally versus most of the time, I know I'm moving towards the right target. Having that growth mindset, listening to books, reading, developing my brain has been a cheat code for life. This is a tip that you can't ever stop doing. Again, you're building habits that are only going to stack to make life easier on a whole different way. because you're going to remember you read this when this challenge comes up. You're going to remember you saw this when that challenge comes up. You're going to be prepared for some of life's largest trials and tribulations because you've been thinking, you've been reading, you've been growing. Tip number 4 is finding the right environment. This is your circle. If you want to find life in an easier mode, it starts with finding people living the life I described earlier, the fulfilled, the successful, the easy people, the ones having a great time, happy, all these things, right? That's got to be your circle. If that's not my circle, then I'm in the wrong space. The environment that I'm in can be infectious in a positive way or a negative way. And when I surround myself with the right people, great things happen. I remember coming up with the idea to help our Rotary Club have a wine festival. And I was surrounded by doers in the city, by movers and shakers, people that had done big things already, run big businesses, and it only made it easier to execute. I remember joining Genius Network and being around a bunch of people that are like me, that are happy and healthy and want a better life and want to make things better. That environment makes me want to find easier ways to live. I think the other secret is positivity. If you're not in a positive environment, you are hurting yourself. Negativity in general will pull you down. You've got to remove yourself from negative environments. Surrounding yourself with people that smile, that are optimistic, that are looking forward to a better tomorrow, not people complaining about how bad it is today, really important for your mental health and for success. Most importantly, they live an easier life because they look at the glass as half full, not half empty. Tip number 5, it's focusing on what you can control and not what you can't. Life is harder when we focus on all the things that we cannot control. Life gets super easy when you focus on what you can. And this is a progressive type of movement. You start to see progress as you do this. If I go in and I focus on all the things that I can control today and I start building, I start to see those successes start to stack again. I start to see life getting a little easier. An analogy we talked about earlier today with our team was growing in the gym. The first day you go to the gym, it's painful. You can't control where you want to be. You can't control the progress that you're going to make more than what you're putting into the gym that particular day, right? Well, when I control what I can control and I focus on that and I build, I will see progress. I will see growth. I will feel more in control of my life. When challenges come up, many times in my life, I actually go in and I write down on the page of paper, old school paper, what I need to do and what I can do. On the other side, I often write the things I'm scared of, the things I'm fearful of, the things I cannot control. And I usually X those out and I move right on to the things I can. That allows me to reframe my brain and solve problems that are solvable, not focus on things that are out of my control. Tip number 6 is think bigger. This is a big one for me, no pun intended, because I believe that when I think bigger, I can always work a little bit harder towards a huge goal, not just a small one. And so many times when I find myself thinking small, everything seems hard. I'm usually focused on the how and not the who. I'm usually focused on the steps it's going to take. And I'm thinking so small that I can't get to where I need to get. See, when I think big, I get curious. What are the things that I can accomplish? Is this real? Is it probable? Is it possible? And then I start to build towards that goal. Curiosity, thinking big, these are things that you can condition your brain to change the way that you think. Scarcity mindset versus abundance, another example of thinking bigger. Life before for me had a lot of scarcity. There's only a certain amount. There's a finite amount of this. It's not sharing in this success or that word of affirmation. Like, it was all these things that once life became one of abundance and I was thinking way bigger and I saw all the opportunity, it got so much easier. That is a cheat code for everything that you do. Thinking bigger is probably something you're not doing right now. Are you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I have big goals, but can they be bigger? What does it look like when you expand, when you push past what you actually think you can do and you start dreaming again? Dreamers make big things happen. Think bigger, life becomes way easier. We ended with thinking big, and because we ended with thinking big, if you like that topic, there's another video that I did on thinking bigger and tricking your brain to do hard things. And that's usually where it starts. So watch this video and see if you could trick your brain into thinking bigger than you ever dreamed.